Share. Copy link. Let's just do this. Alright, that is all up and running. All good. Sorry. Hi guys, now welcome back to my channel. And we are here with the Ultimate Racing League for round 3 of the Sunday Championship with the League 1 guys. Now as you can see, we are at Red Bull, so yes, Red Bull is round 3. And this race is an endurance race. It is a little bit about the track. It is 2.6 miles long, it has 9 turns, and it's a real world circuit. So what I thought is I'll take a little tour around the track before the main event. So here we go. So you take across the start finish straight down to the first corner. You have to try and come around this corner and not go too far over the curb because you get a penalty. And obviously, as far as you can, up to the next tricky turn coming up to the hill. Once again, trying to keep as close to that curb as possible, not going out too wide. And then down the little incline to the next corner. Trying to keep it as close to the curb as possible. Then coming to this next bit. Going to take it out wide. And then trying to take it as close to the curb as possible. Bring it into the LL blue field, and then taking it into the final section, bringing it around in third as close to the curb as possible, and then tricky last bend. If you take it too wide, obviously you get a penalty. Bring it across to the start finish straight for a lap. Now obviously this was a quick lap because it was not a GR3 car. Hello Steve, hello boys. Alright, let's go to the main event. Now obviously the guy did do a 10-minute quali and they do have to use all the tyres for this race. Where is it? There we go. Yes, hello to everyone who is watching. Got a big crowd I can see. So anyway, the guys went out, did their 10-minute quali. And so, as you can see, it's been raining. So they're always not going to be starting on the good tyres. We'll all be starting on the wet. So anyway, on pole was Slowpoke. On second was Seamus. In third was P. White. Chuck was fourth. Brian Mechanic fifth. Ravenfield sixth. Brownie seventh. Hoggy eighth. Stealth ninth. Rossi 10th. Sideways 11th. Graham 12th. Flatby 13th. And Rufus, aka myself, in 14th. So now let's get this race, 32 lap race on the way, and see how everyone does. There is Slowpoke. Oh, didn't want to do that. Yeah, Slowpoke takes him down to the start. For it's a first tricky corner. Hopefully they get around without an issue, which they do. But everyone gets out the corner without an issue. Bring to the next corner, tricky corner, trying to keep everyone going there. Because, oh, sun's already gone. Oh, Brian McCann, go. Let's have a look, see what happens. No, drop my vape. Okay, so Brian's coming up towards the first bend. I might probably think he took it too wide, because with this track, oh yeah, he just didn't take it too wide, he just got it all wrong. That's the worst thing about this track. If you hit the curbs, you're screwed, especially in this wet weather. And this wet weather will last for a little while, so you've already got Seamus trying to go up first. You've got Chuck there as well, trying to take the lead. All gunning for that top position already on lap 1. No one's given an inch. Oh, Graves just lost it just a little bit, hit the curb a little bit and it spun him out, so it's very unfortunate there. Slowpoke hasn't had the best of starts. He started the pole and he's right at the back already. Someone else has gone off. Rossi's gone off as well. I think I could keep going back and looking at the things, and I think I'm going to do that, just the race will go on forever. Oh, Bry's gone off again. He's surprised not having a very great first lap, spun twice on the first lap. Oh, looks like Chuck nearly lost it there, going through the first corner, but he managed to do well and keep it going. Let's allow Bluefield to have a run at him here. Coming up to the first corner, can Chuck keep him behind him? He can. Chuck pretty much just got the inside of Bluefield, but wasn't able to. And Brown is there fourth. He's got Hoggy all over his rear backside, looking to try and take that position off of him. But then they've got the Stealthy right behind him there in sixth, looking to try and get past him as well. And then there's a little bit of a gap opened up to Graham in seventh, with he's got Flat B on his rear bumper, really looking to try and get past. Sideways is there in ninth. Seamus there in 11th. He's got Slowpoke trying to go around the outside of him, with Rufus just behind them. And then Rossi there in 13th, trying to make up for lost time after that spin, and the same for Bry after his catastrophic, awful first lap. So on to lap 3. Yep. The weather certainly was terrible. But Chuck still does have the lead on lap 3. How is he going to dominate this race? We will see. But Bluefield had a bad out of that first corner, which has allowed P. White to go for a run on him. Is P. White going to be able to get that second spot off of him? Is he going to be able to brake soon enough? And he can, so that's P. White up into second. And Brownie's still there, Hoggy's still there, so everyone's still there trying to catch Chuck back up. And it already looks like Chuck is starting to pull a gap a little bit. He's trying to pull a gap. He is gradually getting away. As this track is terrible in the wet, everyone's having to be very careful around the corners. But people are going purple now. There's not many changes at the moment. But this Seamus has got, he's got Slowpoke trying to catch him, and then Rossi's trying to catch him there in 12th. And then Bry's there in 13th. And me Rufus is down there in 14th. He's at a spin somewhere. Oh well, never mind. That's my luck. So anyway, lap 4. Chuck's still leading. P. White's there in 2nd. Bluefield's there in 3rd. Brownie's there in 4th. Hoggy in 5th. Let's go on board with Hoggy. As he's racing along, trying to catch Brownie and take that 4th position off of him. Stealth is dropping off a little bit there in 5th. I hope there's a gap opening up between 5th and 6th now. Looks like Bluefield went out a little bit wide there. That's allowed Brownie to go for a move on him there, but Bluefield's going to come back at him. And manages to keep that 3rd spot. So he's managing to keep Brownie behind him, but Brownie is... Let's actually go on board with Brownie. You see Brownie's really trying to get that 3rd spot off of Bloomfield here. But at the moment, Bluefield is doing enough to keep Brownie behind him. And Oggy's there in 5th, Stealth there in 6th, so he's closed the gap a little bit now. Because the gap was opening up, now it's closed up again. And then Graham there in 7th, he's got flat B all over his rear bumper, trying to get that 7th place part past him. And then there is a gap to Chambers there in 9th. Who's got Sideways and Slowpoke battling it out for that 10th position. Slowpoke does keep it at the moment. The Brian Mechanic's just made a pass on Rossi, so Brian Mechanic's up to 12th now. Rossi's down to 13th, and me Rufus is there, obviously in 14th, trying to catch up, but he's not having any luck. Let's stay with these guys for a minute, because these two are really going for it. Sideways and Slowpoke, side by side, coming down to the next corner. Who's going to have the better of it here? Oh, Brian McAllis gone again. Let's just have a look to see what happened to Brian McCallick. He tries a sneaky one up the inside of Sideways, and it went all wrong for him and took him onto the grass, and now he's got to try and do that all again and try and catch up once again. So he's not having a very good race so far. It's 3 spins so far in 3 spins in the first 5 laps. So let's go up to the front. Lap 6, Chuck is still leading, and he's opened up that gap to P. White. Now he's starting to pull away gradually. Chuck does have the fastest lap currently of a 1:34.9. And then P. White's pulled away from Bloomfield as well, so Bloomfield's dropped off a little bit. But Brownie and Hoggy are still there, trying to catch him up. And it does look like the rain has eased off, and the track looks like it is starting to dry up. It's going to be just a matter of when are they going to be able to go on to the softs, if possible. And who is going to be the first one to try and make that move? The Stealthy there in 6th, Graham there in 7th. Still got Flat B chasing him, with Seamus right behind him there in 9th. And Slowpoke there in 10th. He's pulled away from Rossi a little bit now. Sideways is there in 12th now, so I think Rossi's got past Sideways somewhere, because they were the other way around. Rossi was in 12th and Sideways was in 11th. So sorry, I missed that pass. And then there's Amir Rufus there in 13th. Starting to close the gap gradually. And obviously Bry there trying to make up for lost time in 14th. So at the moment, lap 7. Chuck at the moment is having it all his own way. He's not having anyone challenging him. He's just like, bye! I'm gonna go well ahead now. You can see PY there just trying to keep it on the wet to make the tyres last. Then Brownie's got himself up to third now. He's got past Bloomfield. Bloomfield has got a half-second penalty, so he's going to be dropping down another position shortly when he serves that penalty. Will Stealth be able to get past Bloomfield as well, or is he just too far back? James has got past Graham now. I think he was behind Graham and Flatby, I think. So yeah, so he's got past the two of them there, so James is doing well at the moment. So Bloomfield has now served his penalty. He lost a position, but Stealth was too far away to be able to catch him and pass him. It's 7th. The Flatby's making a play to get past Graham here to get up into that 8th spot, but Graham is doing good in defending, but Flatby has got that position now, so Flatby is up to 8th, Graham down to 9th. And Slowpoke there in 10th, he's got half a second penalty, so that's going to allow Rossi to close the gap onto him. And Sideways obviously there is in 12th. Let's run on board with Sideways. So Sideways can literally just about see Rossi just ahead of him. And then there's Rufus there behind him in the background. Coming on this next corner, Rossi takes that corner a little bit too wide. That's going to allow Sideways to make the move up to 11th position. Well, he's going to allow him to try to get past, and he did, but is Rossi going to be able to come back at him here? But he doesn't, so he is ahead of Rossi, just ahead of Rossi, but Rufus is right behind Rossi as well, so this is a three-way battle for this 11th position at the moment. So the first person to go to the pits is Brownie. Now, is he going to be very brave and go onto the softs, or is he going to take another set of intermediates? Let's stay with Brownie and see what he does. And he has stayed on the intermediate tyres. So he's dropped down to 13th now. And looking at everyone's tyres, everyone's going to be pitting rather soon because everyone's tyres are sort of knackered. So anyway, lap 9, Chuck is still leading, and he's got quite a healthy lead over PY in second now. Bloomfield there in third. Stealth there in fourth. He's got Seamus all over his rear bumper looking to try and get that sixth spot for him. Can Seamus get past him here? Or is Stealth going to be able to keep that position? No, Stealth is managing to keep that fourth position for the time being, and that Seamus is not able to get past at the moment. But Flat B there is in sixth. He's closing the gap on these two as well, so this is a battle here for fourth position. And Graham, there is seventh. Hoggy's right behind him in eighth. Looks like Hoggy's trying to get that position off him. Looks like Graham lost traction a little bit there, coming out of that corner. That's allowed Hoggy to make a move on him. Can Hoggy get this seventh position off of him, or is Graham going to be able to keep that position? Nope, Hoggy got past him, but they're still battling it out, side by side. Hoggy does just have it. But now it's going to come up to the next corner, and nope, Hoggy is far enough ahead to keep Graham behind him. The Rossi there at the moment is on his own in ninth. Rufus there at 10th, so he's got past sideways now. With Brownie there in 12th, Slowpoke there in 13th, Brian Mechanic in 14th. That's going to mean Bloomfield is going with Chuck and PY all going in the pits now. That's going to allow Bloomfield to take the lead for the time being. With Flat B getting up to second, Seamus there in third. Seamus has half-second penalty as well, so he's going to be serving that. That's going to allow Hoggy to close the gap a little bit on him. But these guys will have to pit shortly because they've got very low fuel. Seamus has got out of that corner a lot better than Flat B does. Seamus has got past him, but Seamus is going to lose that position now once he comes to the penalty line. And Hoggy's there in fourth. Graham's there in fifth. Brownie's there in sixth. So Chuck's now out, come out of the pits, and he is in seventh position, and he is on the soft tyres. So he's decided to be brave and go onto the softs. P. White's on the softs now as well in eighth. Slowpoke's decided to go onto the medium tyres. So Bloomfield and Seamus, they're all the top five, all top four, all going into the pits now. Let's see, so far Chuck and PY are on the softs, Slowpoke's on the mediums, Rossi's on the softs now, Rufus is also on the softs. He's got a 3-second penalty, and Stealthy there is also now on the softs, and he is got a 3-second penalty as well. And Brian Mechanic there, he's also on the softs, and Sideways is on the mediums. So everyone has, the only person who still has to change their tyres is Brownie. Everyone else is on softs or mediums, but Brownie does have the lead for the time being. But with a very giant track, for Brownie to make his tyres last, he's going to have to keep going on the wet patches, because otherwise them tyres are just going to die rather quickly. Anyway, the Chuckinator there in second. Oh, PY's got out completely wide there. But thankfully, he's lost a bit of time on Chuck as he was catching him, but he didn't lose too much. A couple people have just spun. Let's just have a look to see what happened. So Flatbee's there in ninth. He gets that all wrong, gives that a good spinsy winsy. And someone else spun as well. I'm just interested to see who it was. It looks like it might have been. It was Rossi who had a little spinsy winsy. He's come out of this corner. Yep. He tries to go for a pass, and he unfortunately has a spinsy winsy, the same as Seamus, a little bit further down the track. But anyway, so Rufus is there in 11th. Brian Mechanic there in 12th. He's got Stealthy there right behind him in 13th, trying to catch him. And then Sideways there in 14th, dropped off the pace a little bit. So Brownie is all purple at the moment. But I imagine he'll get the fastest lap, and then Chuck will take, I would imagine Chuck will take a new fastest lap at the end of this lap. Brownie still does have a gap to Chuck, but with him having to pit soon for a fresh set of tyres, he will drop down a few positions. I'm not sure where he'll drop down to, but he will drop down a few positions. So Chuck there in second, trying to close. He's closing that gap on Brownie gradually. And P White there in third. He's got a bit of a big gap to Bloomfield there in fourth. He's got Slowpoke trying to catch him up in fifth. And Graham there in sixth. And Hoggy there in seventh. He's got Seamus trying to catch him up, gradually pulling that gap into him. So far at the moment, Pete White has taken the fastest lap. So I was wrong, I thought Chuck was going to do it, but Pete White took the fastest lap so far for 1:33.025. Flatbeat's there in 9th. He's got a big gap to Rufus there in 10th, who's got Rossi chasing him down in 11th. They are both on the soft tyres, so there's going to be no advantage here for either of them. It's all going to be all about who can keep it on the dry stuff and not hit the wrong note. Let's just go aboard with Rossi while he's looking down the barrel of the car's trunk. Oh, Rufus has gone wide there. That's allowed Rossi to take that position. Oh, he's got that all wrong. Oh, so did Rufus. Rossi gets past, gets that all wrong. And that's me trying to get going again. Gets back past Rossi, And then his thing and spinsy winsies. That's typical. So anyway, Brownie has finally, on lap 14, has finally decided to come in the pits to go onto the soft tyres. Well, I think he's going to go onto the soft tyres. I really think that he will go onto the softs. I might be wrong. Let's stay with him for a second and see whether he does or not. No, he went onto the mediums, but unfortunately, because he's had to pit again, he has dropped down to 9th position. So that going on the wrong tyre has really messed his race up a little bit. And never mind, these things happen. So right now that gives Rossi someone to look at, because Rossi there is in 10th, and he can see Brownie just up the road from him, and Bry there in 11th, and Rufus there in 12th, Sideways there in 13th, and Stealthy there in 14th. He's having a terrible race. He had a great start to the race until the pit stop, and after the pit stop his race has sort of gone down the pan and not come back, so it's very unfortunate for him. So anyway, lap 16, so we are roughly halfway through this 32 lap race. Chuck is leading, and he's still got a bit of a lead over P. White, but P. White is keeping Chuck honest. He's trying to close that gap on him. At the moment, P. White is the fastest person on the track. Chuck's fastest lap is a 1:34.2, whereas P. White's fastest lap is a 1:32.6. So that's about just under 2 seconds a lap quicker. But as we all know, things can change. So now there's a big gap to Bloomfield in 3rd. So P. White's got a bit of breathing room behind him, so he just got to look ahead of him and concentrate on going after that first position and getting past Chuck. And Slowpoke there in 4th position. Hoggy there in 5th. He's got Seamus trying to chase him down there in 6th position. Is Seamus going to be close enough here to go for a move? No, he's not close enough. He is trying to catch him now. When it comes to Seamus, it is setting better lap times a little bit. His laps are a little bit better than Hoggy at the moment. And he is trying to catch Hoggy and get that 5th place from him. It does definitely look like Seamus got through that corner a lot better than Hoggy did, because he's really closed that gap on him now. Is this going to be an opportunity for Seamus to go for a move here? Well, no, Hoggy will probably be too far ahead. The only way Seamus could get past there is if he dive bomb, and obviously that's not clean racing, so he's not going to do that. But Seamus definitely looks like he got out that corner better than Hoggy there. Well, it looked like he did, but maybe he didn't. Anyway, so down in 7th, there's Flat B trying to close that gap on Seamus, but at the moment it's not been able to. Graham there in 8th. And Rossi there in 9th, with Brownie there in 10th, and Rufus there in 11th, trying to keep it on the black stuff. Sideways there in 13th, Bry there in 13th, and Stealthy there in 14th. He's now being lapped by the Chuckinator. So now Stealthy is, unfortunately, he is a lap down now. Be right there in third. He's still trying to close that gap onto the Chuckinator, but the Chuckinator is not having any of it at the moment. Bloomfield is there in third. He's trying to close that gap on P White, but he's not able. He is not able to. At the moment, Bloomfield is all on his own. And Hoggy there is still in fourth. He's still got Seamus battling with him to get past him. And now it definitely looks like Seamus is even closer now. He's going to have the opportunity to try and pass, I think. Seamus definitely is trying to get past, but at the moment, Hoggy is doing a good job defending against Seamus. It does look like Hoggy gets through this section a lot better than Seamus does. Oh, we come on Slowpoke and he's just spun it. Coming down to the final corner on this track. Oh, it hits too much of the curb and then it's still wet. That's unfortunately, it spun him around and spat him back out. That's going to drop him down a position or two. You shouldn't drop him down that much, but he has dropped down, so he's lost a couple positions there. Rossi's going to ready to get past him. That's dropped Slowpoke down to 9th position now on full. Oh, Slowpoke's gone again. So he tries to get going. And his car decides to spin again, so he's having a terrible lap here. So now he's dropped down again. He's dropped down to 10th now. Is he going to wait to get back on the track now without spinning? And he does finally manage to get going, but he's got damage on his rear bumper and his rear right tyre, so he's got to get rid of that. But at the moment he's got all on his own. There's no one really close to him in the front, and Rufus is he's trying to close that gap. He has the opportunity to close the gap, but whether he can is another question. Looking at their times. So Sideways is there in 12th. And Bry there is in 13th. He's just been lapped by the Chuckinator. And Stealthy is there, still in 14th. And well behind now. So anyway, lap 20, 12 laps to go. The Chuckinator is doing well, dominating this race currently. And it seems like there is nothing in P White in second place can do about the Chuckinator. Someone's just spun off. Brownie's just gone off. What happened to Brownie here? He literally just took a little bit of the curb, and that's surprising. He literally only took a little bit of the curb and that spun him back off and spat him back out. That's going to allow Slowpoke to take that position off of him. So that's Slowpoke up to 9th, Brownie down to 10th. Rufu. Okay, so I've just been informed of an incident to look at. or something to look at will be interesting. Someone's gone off as well. Oh, Chuck the Chuckinator's just gone off. He was dominating this race and now he's just lost that lead. Oh, literally just went over the curb and it's spun him. Coming around this corner, goes over the curb and goes whee! So that's very unfortunate for the Chuckinator. So that will allow Pete White to take that position from him now. So Pete White has now got the lead. All his persistence of trying to catch Chuck has paid off. Coming around the next corner. Just going to be a matter of when are people going to, because everyone will have to lap pit again at some point. And Chuck has got all that work to do now as well after that spin. And Bloomfield there in third. He is sort of just about to lap the Stealthy Boy. Seamus there in fourth. That'd be there in fifth. Hoggy there in sixth. Graham there in seventh. He's got Rossi looking all. Graham's now going into the pits now. Slowpoke there in ninth. He's going cross country. So he hasn't really had... Hello, Hoggy. He hasn't had a great couple of laps. Rufus there in 11th. Sideways there in 12th. Bry there in 13th. Stealth there in 14th. Let's go back up to the front. We have got White here in first position at the moment on lap 21. Looks like he might be pitting this lap because he's got very low fuel. Let's just see what he does. Oh dear. He's gone for a spinsy winsy in the pits. And Chuck does it as well. They both do exactly the same thing. So I'm guessing that pit lane must still be very wet. He comes round, literally hits the pit box, hits the pit entry, and the pit entry is soaking wet. So word to the wise, go slowly. But Chuck has retaken the lead thanks to the pit lane entry. And that's allowed Bloomfield to take the lead for the time being. With Seamus there in second. That be there in fifth. Yep, definitely, I agree, Chuck. That definitely is one way to take the lead. And Hoggy there in... Oh, he's going in the pits now. Rossi there in seventh. He's in the pits as well. Brownie there in eighth position. Graham, Brownie in eighth. Graham there in ninth. Looks like Slowpoke's there in 10th. He's trying to catch Graham up, but his Slowpoke most probably will be going into the pits this lap. Slowpoke Graham obviously has already been in the pits. Yep. Oh, and Slowpoke's done the same thing. He's just spun it, hasn't heard my warning, come in too quick, and he spun as well. So that's 3 people who've done that now. Sideways there in 11th position. He will take 10th from Slowpoke for the time being. Rufus is now into the pits as well. Brian Mechanic there is up to 12th now. He will take 11th place for the time being, with Slowpoke and Rufus both being in the pits. And Stealthy there in 14th. So now Bloomfield has now taken to the pits to change his tyres onto another set of softs. The Chuckinator and Whitey are having to serve their 3-second penalties, unfortunately. But will the Chuckinator be able to retake the lead from Bloomfield? Or will Bloomfield be able to come back out of the pits in the lead? Well, Bloomfield has just left his pit box. This is going to be a tight one between the two of them. Chuck's just coming around the corner. And Chuck has retaken the lead. Bloomfield has played a blinder there. He was behind P. White before the pit stops, and he's been able to come back out of the pits in second and now push P. Whitey down to third position. Seamus there in fourth. Brownie there in fifth. Flappy there in sixth. Graham there in seventh. He's being chased down by Rossi. Someone has just spun. Hoggy has just spun it as well. I think he was... Where is it? Oh, it's the second corner. Or the first corner he spun on. I'm not sure. Oh, no, he's had to avoid an action there on Graham, because otherwise he would have hit Graham, so he's taken himself out, unfortunately, but he would have lost some time there, unfortunately, and he's trying to get back on, and it's just, at the moment, because there are still wet patches on this track, he's not able to get the car straight, but he's now got the car straight, and he's on his way again, and he's there in ninth. Bry there in 10th now. Sideways there in 11th. And Slowpoke there in 12th. I mean, fair enough. There's Sideways is just coming out of the pits now. Is Rufus going to be able to... As Rufus is there, is he going to be able to take 12th spot off Sideways? Well, Sideways does have 3-second penalty, so yeah, Rufus has taken that spot from Sideways, but Sideways also does have a 3-second penalty to serve as well. Delphi's still well back there in 14th. Right, I'm trying to look for a really close battle. At the moment, I think the closest battle is between the Chuckinator and Bloomfield. And right, they are in the same team as well, because they're wearing the same colours, the same livery designs. Is Bloomfield going to be able to get past Chuckinator, or is Chuck going to be able to keep him behind? Well, this definitely is the closest, by the looks of it, definitely is the closest battle at the moment. But they've got Sideways just ahead of them. Just ahead of them. And Sideways is moving out the way now. And Bloomfield is making a... Bloomfield's making a play for it to get past the Chuckinator here. It's a brilliant move by him, but Chuck is not letting him go. But at the moment, Bloomfield does have that lead. But Chuck will not let him go. He will keep after him. Just a matter of time, I think, before Chuck can get past him again, perhaps. Anyway, we're on lap 25, 7 laps remaining. P. White is there in third, Seamus is there in fourth, Flatby there in fifth. He's got Brownie all over his rear bumper in sixth, looking to try and get that fifth position off of him. Flatby is on the softs, Brownie is on the mediums, so Flatby is on the faster tyre at the moment. And Brownie's making a play here to try and get past there. Brownie's on the outside. He is trying to, but he just was not able to get out of that corner, accelerate quick enough around it. Rossi there is 7th. He's closing the gap to Flat B and Brownie, so he's going to come into this battle shortly as well. Graham there in 8th. Hoggy there in 9th. He's got Bridal Mechanic just behind him, trying to close that gap on him. And Slowpoke there in 11th. He's got half second penalty, so this is going to bring Rufus into the fold and start battling with each other, I think, because Slowpoke will have to serve that penalty, and then it should allow Rufus to close that gap on him. Sideways there in 13th. So Rufus does have a decent lead over Sideways in 13th. And even bigger lead over Stealthy there in 14th. Then ready back up to the front. Bloomfield still has that lead from Chuck with P White there, for instance. So this is a three-way battle for the lead. It looks like Bloomfield's pulling away more than, I think, it seems like Chuck's just dropping off the pace from Bloomfield, and it's allowing P White to close that gap on him significantly. Slowpoke, oh, Bryde's just come out of the pits. That's allowed Slowpoke to try and go for a move on Bridal Mechanic. But he's not able to. They are battling out nails and tongs for that position. But while that's all going on, that's allowed Rufus to close that gap significantly on to Slowpoke now. So now they're going to be going out. That's it, hammer and tongs for that 11th position. Is Rufus going to try and make a move here? No, he doesn't. Looking at the tyres, they are both on the soft tyres here, so there's going to be no advantage for the tyres because they're both on the same kind of tyre, they're both on softs. But while this is going on, they've got the front guys closing the gap on them gradually. So this is where Rufus is going to have his opportunity to go for a move here. Looks like he's trying. Looks like he really wants to get that position off of Slowpoke here. Let's just stay with these guys for a second. But Slowpoke is managing to keep me Rufus behind just about. With them tyres, the brakes lighting up as it's going dark. Bloomfield is not too far behind these guys at the moment. So Mark is managing to keep Rufus behind him. There is, and then let's go to the front. Lap 28. There is 4 laps. 4 laps, give or take, remaining. Bloomfield does have that lead. He's pulled a gap over Chuckinator with P right there, right behind in third, but anything can happen in these last few laps. So the lead is, first position is everyone's game at the moment, but at the moment it's more who's going to finish between second and third, because these two, the Chuckinator and PY, are battling it out for that third position. Oh, got to go back up here. Let's have a look. See, Rufus is making a play for that position to get past Slowpoke, but he's not able to. And Slowpoke's been able to pull away a little bit here. And that's while while Slowpoke and Rufus are battling it out for that 11th position. That is allowing the top three guys to close that gap on them. But the only issue is going to be for the front guys is they've got people battling in front of them, and they're not going to want to just move over and lose track and lose their race. It's a very difficult one sometimes. But obviously they do have to let, when they're back markers, they do have to let people past. Oh, Rossi's gone out wide, hit the curb. Delphi's got himself up to 13th now, so he's no longer in that last position. Sorry, we're lap 30, 2 more laps to go. There is a yellow flag here from someone. That's Brian the mechanic. He's been in there on the first corner, unfortunately. So Chuck has pulled away from PY a little bit now. About is Rufus closing? Rufus is trying to close back up on Slowpoke, but it looks like he's just about to. Oh, Rufus is going to go wide. Hasn't spun it. Trying to get going, letting everyone go past. And he spins, he winsies. So that's his. So, well, yeah. Moves out the way to let the back markers, to let everyone go past him, and he spun it. Oh well, never mind. So anyway, let's go back up to the front, about to start the 31st lap. Bloomfield still has that lead, and Chuck knows that he's only got a few laps left to go if he wants to get that W. But as we know, it's one person to catch a guy, it's another person, it's another thing to, it's one thing to catch someone, it's another thing to pass them. But he is really trying, looking at their lap times. Can't tell what Chuck's fastest lap is at the moment. Bloomfield's fastest lap is a 33.6. But you can see Chuck is trying to catch Bloomfield up. P. White's trying to keep it there as well. He's trying to keep up as well. Oh, P. White got that bit all wrong, so he's going to lose a bit of time on Bloomfield and Chuck now. That's going to give Chuck a bit of breathing room to not worry about behind him so much. Right, Seamus is there in 4th, Ross is there in 5th, Lap B's there in 6th. He's being chased by Hoggy there in 7th. Is there going to be Will Hoggy be able to close the gap significantly and take that 6th place off flat B, with this being one more lap after this? He'll have to do it quite quickly, but it looks like he did get out of that corner a lot better than Seamus did. He has closed that gap significantly on Seamus. But whether he will get past is another question. And Brownie there in 8th, Graham there in 9th, Slowpoke there in 10th. Like Graham and Slowpoke are going at it. They still got, obviously, this will be their final lap. Looks like Slowpoke's going for that move on Graham. So Slowpoke's got himself up to 9th position now. Graham's down to 10th. Well, the Rufus is well behind, nowhere near Graham. He's like all on his own now. And then Stealthy there is in 12th. Sideways there in 13th. Bride there in 14th, sitting on the line. So it's final lap. Bloomfield takes victory, with Chuck being 2nd, Pete White being 3rd. So congratulations to the 3 of them. Seamus takes 4th. Rossi will take 5th. So Rossi does finish 5th. Hoggy managed to get past flat B. So Hoggy has got himself up to 6th position. So yeah, Hoggy finishes 6th. Flat B finishes 7th. Brownie will take to finish in 8th. Slowpoke will be the final. Slowpoke will be the final person to cross the line in 9th position. Graham finishes 10th. Rufus finishes 11th. Stealth finishes 12th. Sideways finishes 13th, and Bright finishes 14th. So that was round 3. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time for round 4 at Goodwood. So bye bye for now.